Hi, my lovely Facebook friends. Be you in Introverts Corner, on the Flourishing Introverts page, wherever you are. Happy Tuesday lunchtime. And yet, looking out there, sorry, I'm looking beyond my computer. It's a grey, dreary, dismal day. So here we are in lockdown version 3 here in the UK. So predictable. I've been talking to my clients about it, since October, actually. And I absolutely kind of knew that it was on its way. Good morning, Carrie. Lovely to see you. Carrie from Minnesota. Lovely to see you. Yeah, so lockdown 3 was clearly on its way, but it's just the kind of, the dithering that makes it difficult. But I tell you what makes it difficult for me. It's not lovely weather. Last time we were in lockdown, we were blessed with glorious weather. And it's not that this time. I mean, I struggle this time of year anyway. I have a little bit of SAD syndrome. So I need to make sure I'm taking vitamin D, which fortunately is one of the things we need to be taking anyway. But I do need to make sure I'm taking my vitamin D and also occasionally using my SAD lamp. So, so I'd probably cope better if I was doing this again in sunshine rather than doing it in grey, which we're doing it. Anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk about today. So what am I here to talk about today? What I'm here to talk about today is the fact that here in the UK, we are in lockdown again. And what that means for us, in my kind of humble opinion and experience, I suppose, is that we're going to be spending more time doing this, speaking to camera, making sure that we are showing up the way we've always intended to show up. And if introverts think it's hard showing up in real life, it's even harder, I think, showing up on camera. And one of the things I've been doing with my clients since October actually is running presenting to camera courses, because I saw too many examples of people clearly not understanding how this whole thing works. So one of the things I wanted to do was just talk about how I get myself in a state of readiness, not a state of anything else, a state of readiness to be able to show up on camera. Because part of what I do, is that I inspire people to show up to be the best version of themselves. I'm certainly a catalyst for personal change. And that doesn't happen unless I bring it, whether I'm face-to-face in a training room, whether I'm one-to-one coaching, or whether I'm using one of the virtual mediums that we're becoming so familiar with now. And I've started to get kind of irritated with some introverts who say, I can't do that, I'm an introvert. I hate video calls, I'm an introvert. Those two things are not necessarily connected. And if I upset a few people here, maybe that's what I need to do. But the dislike or fear of video calls is around a fear of being seen, of being visible. And that actually that's a social phobia that brings about social anxiety. And not all introverts have social anxiety or the social phobia. So one of the things I'm really keen to do is disconnect the two so that we're not blaming this stuff on our introversion. We're not backing ourselves into a corner, giving ourselves excuses, saying, I can't do this because I'm an introvert. See, I'm losing people already. I knew that was going to happen, but it needs saying. So this is much more about being prepared to say, if I have a social phobia around this, let's get that sorted. I can still be my introverted self, But let's not conflate the two. Let's not conflate social anxiety and social phobias with introversion. But, however, here's the thing, it does for me to show up well on camera. So I have some rituals that I need to put in place in order to make sure that I'm not showing up here kind of half-heartedly wishing I could turn the camera off, but that actually I can show up full-bodied, full of commitment to be there for whoever is the other side of the camera. Because I don't do this lightly. I don't do it just to chat with people. I do it partly for my job, partly for my work. So I need to make sure that I'm fully here for people, because I can't support, I can't inspire, I can't be a catalyst for change if I'm not modeling what being a flourishing introvert really looks like. So how do I get ready for showing up on camera? Because we're in the UK, we've just gone into tier 5, a new tier of lockdown until, and I noticed it in the wording, at least the middle of February. But I heard even weeks ago that they were talking about Easter. So I'm readying myself for this to be the way I've got to do business until at least Easter, which means that I need to make friends with this method. I need to get okay with it, which is why I started running those presenting to camera sessions. But I need to be energetically in the right state. Yeah, Carrie's saying, thank you, Carrie. Absolutely not an excuse. And whoever Facebook user is, good afternoon to you too. If you tell us who you are, I'll be able to mention you by name. So for me, in order to show up in full energy, what I need to do is to make sure that I am fully recharged. So there are several things that I do in terms of diary management, which is to not book online virtual meetings back to back, because that drains me in no time at all. So I will always make sure that what I've got is, even if it's just a 10-minute gap between meetings, that means I can use one of my brilliant battery booster methods in order to recharge my batteries before the next meeting. Because if I'm being paid by a client, I have a responsibility to show up. If I'm employed and I'm being paid to do the work, that means being paid to turn up to meetings, whether I like it or not. And if I'm in between roles or figuring out something I need to do, then actually what I need to do is show up fully for, whether it's an interview, whether it's a prospecting meeting, whatever it happens to be, networking events, any of those things are about showing up fully. So for me, first it starts with, hi Marie, nice to see you and thanks for telling me who you are. The first thing I need to do is to use one or a number of my brilliant battery boosters. And if you don't know where those are, put them in the comments and I'll make sure that I upload them into Introvert's Corner, and in the Flourishing Introvert, or on the Flourishing Introverts page, I'll put the link to where you can get them. They're those really quick little methods that give you a top up of battery. You know, we have those small phone emergency battery chargers. You know, there's often they're a little cylinder or something. My brilliant battery boosters act a bit like that. They are little things that I do that just give me the lift I need. So in between meetings, I will use a bit of, let's say, lemon oil, because lemon oil is naturally uplifting. I happen to have a diffuser here in my office, which I will, or a vaporizer actually, which I'll use with some lemon oil when I need lifting. I'll also make sure that I can get up and move, because I've now, as you can see, moved back to or into a new home office and away from my lovely home, my lovely business office. I'll make sure that I go up and down the stairs a few times. because as I get the blood moving, as I get me moving, I feel more energetic around that. I might even have a dance break if I'm feeling cheeky, because that energizes me. And I'm such a lover of music that it makes I feel that energy instantly. I also will use a crystal or two. I know I've talked about this before, but I have been known to tuck a crystal down my bra if I need a particular type of energy. And whatever other senses you need. So for me, my brilliant battery boosters, if you're not sure where they are, and I think that's Marie again, what I'll do is I'll make sure, Marie, that I put them in a file in Introvert's Corner so you'll be able to find them. And for the people watching on to Flourishing Introverts, I'll give them the link to the brilliant battery boosters. But I find they are so useful. But whatever is your dominant sense, so I'm very kinesthetic. So whatever I do, if I want to, hi Steph, nice to see you. Oh, thank you, Carrie. I'm just going to put that up because it's such a nice thing to say. Look, I love this blue background. Shall I tell you why I did it, Carrie? It was just boring magnolia. We'd never really done anything with this back bedroom. And the first Facebook Live or training actually I did from here, I realized that I just merged with the background because there wasn't enough definition. There wasn't enough distinction. So over a weekend, I went and while paint shops were still open, had myself mixed some paint, which I liked the color of. And I even added some glitter into it, which makes me smile when the sun catches it. Oh, to see the smile again, see the sun catch it. But there's something about it, and people have commented that there's almost like a halo of light around me. It's probably because I've deliberately sat myself in front of the window so that I've got natural light coming in, but I've also got another light too. So back to the brilliant battery boosters and back to what we're doing. Whatever is your dominant sense, make sure that you do something that really recharges you from that particular sense. Because I'm kinesthetic, movement is always it for me, closely followed actually by listening to some music, which usually prompts the movement anyway. And then aromas. I'm very sensitive to aromas. Oh, thank you, Jenny. Very sensitive to aromas. So now Jenny's here, I'll say we share a favorite perfume, which is Jo Malone Red Roses. I've actually today got the Jo Malone Rose Oud, Velvet Rose Oud, I think it's called, which is a slightly muskier but lovely rose scent. And I'm glad Jenny's here because she's going to maybe do some stuff later for us with when we maybe do some drop-in sessions around rituals and how to kind of recharge and replenish. Jenny is brilliant at that. It's her thing. Jenny runs I think I'll have spoken about her before, but Jenny runs the Mimosa Sanctuary, which normally we would go to. I drive nearly 100 miles to go to Jenny's Mimosa Sanctuary, but she's also got an online sanctuary, and it's so well worth visiting to find ways to calm down. And so that might be an alternative and something to add into your brilliant battery boosters. So there's something here about making sure that we are sufficiently energized when we have to show up on camera, and not giving that excuse about I can't do it because I'm an introvert. There's no such thing as can't. Just need to make sure we're in the right energetic state to do it. And of course, the other really simple thing is about where you focus your attention. And this is so counterintuitive, because most of us want to look down at the faces on a screen. But as soon as I do that, I've broken connection. The only way to build connection is to look at that darn camera. And it's so counterintuitive. But if I'm wanting to make connection with people, it's what I have to do. So it's about wising up and getting smart to how we show up in virtual meetings and how we really bring our full presence to it. So just wanted to share a little bit with you about that virtual meeting thing, because we've got at least a few more months of it. But here's my prediction, right? Even when this is over, and I can't see an end point yet, and I read a report that said we're going to have to live with it, which is, you know, altogether something else. I think the world of business has changed forever now. Why would people get on a train for hours, jump on a plane, and, you know, ruin their carbon footprint to do a bit of business when actually we can do it like this? Which means I don't have to get up so early. I don't have to spend hours on the road. I can actually have better work-life balance, but I still need boundaries. I still need recharging rituals, and I still need to use those brilliant battery boosters so that when I show up here, I'm showing up fully, not half-heartedly, fully. And even as an introvert, but especially a flourishing introvert, that's what I can do. Helen's just, I've got to share this, look, bless. Helen's just said, oh my God, first thing that goes, my sense of time. Don't worry, Helen. It'll be available for you to catch up on. Because you're right, I am almost at the end, but that doesn't matter. Let's not put additional pressure on ourselves, because my heart goes out to those of you who are homeschooling at the moment. My heart goes out to you if you're like Jenny, and I don't know if Jennifer's going to watch this on #replay, but whose businesses have had to close because of this again. And, you know, that's really wearing. My heart goes out to people, and I'm part of the excluded group, who've had no financial support really since this started. I'm fortunate in that what happened is clients started to say, can we do this on Zoom? Which is why I had to learn how to show up really. You know, if I go back even a year, I hated Facebook Lives. And this is frankly just a Facebook Live. Training virtually is just like a longer Facebook Live. But we can do it. I can do it. I just need to be prepared. I need to be in the right energetic state, and I need to have the right mental attitude to it. So thank you. Thank you for being here, those of you who've been here. If you're watching on replay, #replay with any comments, any thoughts. And, you know, just a thought. I've been running the presenting to camera sessions for some of my clients. Would it be helpful for me to do a version of it and put it in the introvert's corner? Just wondering, because we are going to be facing this for a while. So let's get good at it. Let's dispel some of those myths that actually we can't do this stuff, because we so can. Anyway, I'm going to put my thank you screen up, because if I press end broadcast now, because of the delay, it'll look like it's cutting me off mid-flow. So I'm going to put my end screen up, my thank you screen. I'll mute myself and just let it run out until you get to the end. But thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. And let's show what flourishing introverts can really do.